Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the FCB Celeste podcast. And in this edition of the video, I'm going to talk about the tactical dilemma that Xavi faces with João Cancelo. So let's get into it. Now, I've created this example lineup to demonstrate what the tactical dilemma is. So in this starting lineup, in the back line, I've got Baldi, Koundé, Rojo, and of course at the right back position, João Cancelo. In the midfield, I have Gundogan in the pivot position. I've got Gavi and Pedri in the much more advanced midfield position. And our three forwards are Felix, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. Now, as you know, João Cancelo, extremely good football player, but he loves to go forward, join the attack. He loves to support attack, and he's a very attacking fullback. And so when he does that, right, he goes deep into the opponent's attacking half. That leaves a gaping area behind. And in this area, somebody has to be able to cover while he's advanced into the attacking half of the pitch. The question is, who covers this area? This is the problem that Xavi is having. Who has the assignments and who can consistently defend this area? Now, when this attack is taking place, Pedri is going to join in the attack. Gundogan is going to try to stay close to Pedri so that they can link up better. And of course, Gavi is also going to move forward as well to stay close to João Felix, right? So they can all link up if necessary. And this is how most of our attacks are ending up, whether we score a goal or not. Who covers that red area once again? Okay, so let's look at Gundogan. He's in the middle of the midfield. Can he come to that area consistently and chase down the opponent's fullback or wingers as they get the ball on a counterattack? The answer is probably no. Gundogan doesn't have the speed and physicality to do that, right? He can get there, but he just won't get there on time. And also, if he leaves the midfield, in the middle of the midfield, that leaves a gaping hole in the middle of the midfield. Then who covers that area? Now you're just shifting problem from one area of the field to another. So that's not a pragmatic solution. So now, really, the only player that can cover that red area is Ronald Araujo. He consistently goes there, trying to prevent attack, proactively prevent attack and counterattacks. You'll see when you watch the games, just observe this. He'll continuously get drawn in there because the opponents know his strength. So they want him to be away from the box, right? So he goes in there. But as a result, what ends up happening is he also leaves a gaping area behind as he covers the right flank. So then the question is, who covers that area near the top of the box? Koundé is isolated, and Gundogan is too far, and Baldi is certainly too far. It becomes a mad scramble to cover that area, and overall, we completely go out of shape in the midfield, in the back line, and so this is the problem that Xavi is having. We are unable to consistently defend the area that João Cancelo leaves behind when he goes forward to support attack. Now, you ask, well, how come this didn't happen last year? Last year, Barcelona's defensive posture was so strong. Well, let's look at the shape and the lineup. Last year, we had Baldi, Christensen, Araujo, and Koundé in the back line, Koundé being the right back. But what would happen is, really, Baldi is the one who had the total freedom to go forward, to be progressive, and attack and support attack and cross, whatever is necessary. And Gavi, who is a false winger, who would drop back and tuck back into the midfield to disrupt the midfield, crowd the midfield. So essentially we had four midfielders, right? And of course Koundé, he did go forward, but after a certain point, he wouldn't go forward most of the time. He would hold back, like right around the midfield area. That's as far as he would go most of the time. And then he would check himself because he didn't want to leave the area behind him. So as a result, we always had a good defensive posture. Christensen, Araujo, and Koundé remained very compact, and the opponents on counterattacks could not break them down because we always had 3 backs staying behind. And this is the problem. This is the problem we have today, is that we have our center backs who get isolated because our fullbacks are too high up the pitch on both sides of the pitch. So when Baldi and Cancelo goes high up the pitch, it becomes a problem because their flanks are completely empty and there's a ton of space for the opponents to exploit on counterattacks, and our center backs are always isolated against 2 or 3 or even 4 attacking players from the opposition. What are the solutions? Well, there's a couple of solutions. One, we need to get better wingers who can break down the opponent's defenders one-on-one, similar to, for example, Real Madrid has. Look at Rodrigo, look at Vinny. You know, they can take on any defender one-on-one, dribble past them and attack and create danger, right? That's one solution. The other solution is combine our midfielders and wingers to form a kind of a 2 versus 1 matchup situation on the wings, so that one defender cannot just defend our winger. They have to pick and choose. Either they have to go after our midfielder or go after our winger. But either way, we win the battle because we have a 2 versus 1 situation. So these are some of the things that Xavi has to figure out that he still hasn't figured out. And I believe this is what needs to be improved in order for us to improve our defensive posture and stop conceding so many cheap goals. And with this, I'm going to leave you in this edition of the podcast. Leave your comments. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Until next time, take care.